Welcome, seekers of ancient history, to a thrilling journey through time, power, and dark ruin. Look closely at the cold marble floor, where the most powerful man in Rome lies completely still. His royal purple toga is now soaked in dark crimson, pierced by 23 ruthless dagger strikes. How did the great Julius Caesar, the conqueror of the world, fall at the hands of his own close friends? Let us rewind time and uncover the dark plot that destroyed the great Roman Republic forever. The year is 44 before Christ, and the ancient city of Rome stands at a grand crossroads. The Roman Republic has survived for nearly 500 years, ruled by the noble Senate. But a massive shadow now falls across the sunlit pillars of the ancient and sacred Senate House. Julius Caesar has just crossed the Rubicon River, defeating his fierce rivals in a brutal war. He stands at the absolute peak of human power, wearing the glowing golden wreath of a conqueror. According to ancient records, the people of Rome love him for his glorious battlefield victories. They crown him dictator for life, a title that gives him complete control over the vast empire. However, this unlimited authority strikes fear into the hearts of the traditional ruling class. Inside the dimly lit corners of the grand marble halls, desperate whispers begin to echo softly. Many wealthy senators watch Caesar with cold, calculating eyes, hiding their dark intentions. They wear crisp white togas with purple borders, but their minds are filled with a growing poison. These men call themselves the Liberators, believing they are the shield of the dying republic. They whisper that Caesar wishes to make himself a king, a word the Romans absolutely despise. To them, this single powerful man is a dangerous monster who will crush their ancient freedoms. The conspiracy grows rapidly in the shadows, led by a small group of desperate and angry men. Gaius Cassius Longinus is the bitter mastermind, carefully weaving a web of deadly betrayal. But to succeed, the hidden assassins need a leader whose name commands moral respect in Rome. They turn their eyes to Marcus Junius Brutus, a man highly trusted and deeply loved by Caesar. Caesar treats Brutus like his own dear son, often forgiving his past mistakes with a warm embrace. Yet Brutus comes from an ancient noble bloodline that proudly overthrew the very first Roman kings. This heavy family legacy tears at his conflicted soul as he stands silently in the shadows. He must choose between his deep love for his adopted father and his pure loyalty to the state. The heavy folds of his toga conceal his shaking hands and the terrible burden of his choice. Historians note that Brutus spent many sleepless nights pacing the cold stone floors of his grand home. Finally, the dark whispers of the conspirators succeed in breaking his emotional defenses. He convinces himself that the tragic end of one great man is the only way to save all of Rome. A secret pact is formed in the dead of night, sealed with a terrifying promise of death. They decide to strike at the next meeting of the Senate, where no armed guards are ever allowed. The weapons chosen are small iron daggers called pugios, easily hidden beneath the woolen cloth. Every detail is carefully planned, leaving the dictator with absolutely no path of escape. The trap is set, and the ancient city unknowingly holds its breath for the coming storm of shadows. The fateful day arrives, known in the ancient Roman calendar as the dark Ides of March. It is the 15th day of the month, and a heavy, Unnatural tension fills the morning air. Dark omens have already warned the great general, including the terrifying nightmares of his wife. A blind prophet on the street shouted a desperate warning for him to beware this very day. But Julius Caesar is a proud warrior who has faced absolute peril countless times on the open field. He dismisses the prophecies, believing that a true Roman never shows useless fear. He steps confidently out of his home, dressed in his magnificent royal purple toga of supreme power. The Senate is meeting today at the Grand Theatre of Pompey, a massive stone building in the city. As he strides to the towering columns, the golden sunlight reflects off his shining laurel wreath. Inside the vast marble hall, the conspirators wait, with cold sweat forming on their pale foreheads. Over 60 men stand rigidly, their right hands firmly clutching cold iron beneath their clothes. They watch like hungry wolves as the dictator enters, taking his grand seat at the front of the room. The air inside the chamber feels incredibly thick, heavy with the silent weight of impending doom. A senator named Julius Caesar approaches the leader, pretending to present a humble petition. The assassins quickly gather around the golden chair, forming a tight and inescapable circle. Caesar waves his hand, annoyed by their closeness, completely unaware of the deadly sharp steel. Caesar grabs the purple toga, pulling it down fiercely from the dictator's broad shoulders. This aggressive action is the secret signal that every hidden assassin has been waiting for. "Why, this is violence!" Caesar shouts in pure shock as the first sharp blade flashes in the light. A senator named Casca strikes the very first blow, but his trembling hand only grazes the general's neck.
"You too, Brutus."
The wounded lion instantly fights back, grabbing the arm with the sheer strength of a soldier. For a brief second, it seems the legendary conqueror might actually fight his way out of the trap. If you were surrounded by armed enemies, would you fight to the bitter end, or accept your fate? But the tight circle completely collapses inward as dozens of hidden daggers are violently drawn. The marble hall erupts into pure chaos as the assassins push and shove to reach their target. Innocent senators scream in absolute terror, scrambling frantically away from the horrifying scene. They raise their empty hands to the heavens, fleeing blindly toward the grand wooden exit doors. Caesar struggles fiercely against the mob, throwing powerful punches despite the sharp, deep cuts. His toga quickly becomes soaked with dark crimson shadows, heavy with his own vital essence. The assassins are so blinded by rage that they accidentally slice each other in the frantic dark frenzy. The dying dictator is pushed violently toward the massive stone pedestal of his old, defeated rival. The giant statue of Pompey stares down coldly at the gruesome and unforgiving political tragedy. Bleeding from multiple severe wounds, Caesar desperately searches the crowd for a single, friendly face. Through the chaotic, swirling white cloth and flashing iron, his tired eyes finally meet a familiar stare. It is Marcus Brutus, the young man he loved and trusted more than anyone else in the entire world. Brutus steps forward from the chaotic shadows, holding a sharp dagger stained with cinematic dark marks. The young man's face is a tragic mask of pure sorrow, inner conflict, and terrifying absolute resolve. Seeing his beloved friend raise the cruel blade, the fighting spirit completely drains from the great general. The pain is entirely overshadowed by the crushing weight of this ultimate, heartbreaking betrayal. Ancient texts record his final, devastating words echoing through the hall in a tone of pure grief. "You too, my child?" he whispers softly, his voice breaking under the heavy sorrow of a broken heart. He realizes the republic he tried to save truly wishes his end, and he accepts his dark fate. In a final act of Roman dignity, he pulls the torn upper folds of his toga over his grieving face. He does not want his cruel enemies to see his face twisting in the final agonizing moments of life. Brutus drives his dagger deep into the chest of the man who loved him like a true and loyal son. The mighty conqueror collapses entirely at the cold stone base of his old defeated enemy. 23 deep wounds bring the absolute and devastating end to his once magnificent life. A heavy and terrifying silence finally falls over the vast and empty halls of the Senate. The assassins step backward, staring blindly at their violently trembling, darkly stained hand. Marcus Brutus stands completely paralyzed in the cold shadows, his shoulders slumped in sudden, dark defeat. His arm hangs loosely by his side, still gripping the sharp weapon that destroyed his beloved father. But the other desperate conspirators break the eerie silence with a loud and manic cheer. They quickly raise their dark-stained daggers high toward the vaulted ceiling in a hollow victory. They declare to the empty marble room that the cruel tyrant is gone and freedom is restored. The assassins rush into the sunny streets, expecting the massive crowds to celebrate their sudden deed. However, they only find terrified citizens who lock their doors in absolute fear of more violence. Inside the vast and empty Senate House, the broken body of the great Julius Caesar lies totally alone. 3 humble slaves enter the dark chamber to carry their fallen master back to his grieving wife. Days later, the furious citizens of Rome gather around the massive funeral pyre of their hero. His loyal friend Mark Antony delivers a powerful and heartbreaking speech that ignites a fierce rage. The angry Roman mob quickly turns violently against the frightened men who claimed to be saviors. Brutus and the desperate conspirators are forced to flee the ancient capital in sudden, dark fear. They truly believed that eliminating one powerful dictator would magically restore freedom. However, history quickly proved that their brutal and reckless actions were a devastating mistake. The sudden and tragic death of Julius Caesar did not magically heal the broken republic. Instead, his brutal assassination triggered a devastating civil war across the entire empire. Massive Roman armies armed with shining iron swords brutally fought against their own brothers. Marcus Brutus eventually met his own tragic and dusty end on the dusty battlefield. Realizing his absolute and crushing defeat, he chose to depart this world by his own hand. From the smoking ashes of the ruined republic, a new and much more powerful ruler emerged. Octavian, the clever adopted heir of Julius Caesar, crushed all his remaining fierce rivals. He proudly took the grand title of Augustus and became the very first supreme emperor. The devastating irony of this dark historical tragedy remains painfully clear to this very day. The daggers that were meant to protect the noble republic actually caused its final, tragic death. It tragically proves that extreme political violence only gives birth to a darker monster. The dark crimson stain on the marble floor of the Senate could never be washed away by time. The towering stone statue of Pompey continued to cast its long, silent shadow over the room. Yet the powerful name of Julius Caesar transformed into a legendary symbol of absolute power. For countless centuries, supreme rulers across the entire globe proudly adopted his famous name. The mighty Kaisers of ancient Germany and the powerful Tsars of Russia echoed his legacy. The deeply superstitious Roman people eventually worshipped his spirit as a holy god. A bright, burning comet appeared in the dark night sky, convincing them he ascended to heaven. Meanwhile, the tragic name of Marcus Brutus became forever linked with the ultimate betrayal. The famous poet Dante placed Brutus in the absolute lowest and darkest frozen circle of hell. But the fierce historical debate over this tragic assassination continues to this very day. Can a secret act committed in the dark shadows ever be justified to protect ancient freedom? The thin and fragile line between a brave patriot and a cruel traitor is often written in crimson. The proud liberators thought they were bravely cutting off the dangerous head of a terrifying snake. Instead, they unleashed a monster of endless civil war that completely swallowed the ancient city. As we gaze one final time upon the stained marble floor of the quiet and empty theater of Pompeii, we must forever remember the heavy cost of blind ambition and devastating political betrayal. Was Caesar a cruel tyrant who deserved his dark end, or a great leader betrayed by jealous friends? Did they save Roman freedom, or open the gates to endless wars? Please leave your deepest thoughts below. If you enjoyed this epic journey, please hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe for more.